Welcome to the deep dive, your shortcut to being truly well-informed. You know that feeling, right?
Yeah.
You walk into a room, you pause, and then completely forget why you're even there. Or maybe a name is right there, like on the tip of your tongue, but it just vanishes. We all get those little mental hiccups, those, senior moments that can feel kind of inevitable. But then sometimes you meet someone, maybe they're in their late 80s, 90s even, and their mind is just, oh, well, it's incredibly sharp. Quick-witted, they recall details easily. It just makes you wonder, what is their secret? How come some brains seem to just forget to age?
That really is the fascinating mystery we're diving into today. Our mission here is to um, cut through the noise and really explore the latest science on this. We want to go way beyond just, good genes or luck. We're drawing on some pretty groundbreaking studies to figure out what's really happening inside the brains of these super agers, as they're sometimes called. So get ready, because this deep dive, well, it's going to reveal some genuinely surprising stuff and practical insights too. Think of it as a shortcut to understanding the real cutting edge of brain health.
Okay, let's unpack this then. So, superagers. That term comes from scientists at Northwestern University, right? People over 80 with the memory, the brain power of someone decades younger, like an 85-year-old acing memory test, like maybe a 45-year-old. That sounds pretty astounding. And this Northwestern study, they put these superagers through some really tough memory tests, the kind that usually trip up older adults.
Exactly, and the superagers just, well, they sailed right through them. It was almost like their brains literally hadn't gotten the memo about aging.
So what did they find when they actually looked inside those brains?
That's where it gets really interesting. They used MRI scans, to compare the superager brains to typical older adults who are having memory problems. And while some things look similar, like certain protein clumps you hear about, one crucial difference really jumped out. The superagers, they had remarkably healthy microglia. But the average older adults with memory issues, their microglia were, well, dysfunctional. This was a huge clue.
Microglia. Okay, that sounds tiny, but you're saying they're actually massive players. What exactly are they? Are they like the brain's cleanup crew?
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, think of them as the brain's dedicated immune cells, like white blood cells, but for your brain. Constantly patrolling, protecting, repairing. And when they're healthy, oh man, their job list is critical for peak performance. Healthy microglia, they're busy creating new synapses, those connections that let you think faster.
Faster connections, right?
Yeah, and they help grow new cells in the hippocampus. That's your brain's memory hub.
The memory center, got it.
They even bathe sick neurons and protective chemicals to keep things sharp. And they boost myelin growth. That's the insulation essential for learning and memory. They're honestly a massive discovery for brain health.
So if healthy microglia are the good guys, the guardians, what happens when they go dysfunctional? What are the consequences then?
Well, that's where the trouble really starts. Instead of being protective, they start spewing out inflammatory chemicals. It's like security guards suddenly starting fires.
Wow.
And instead of building those communication lines, those synapses, they actually start shredding them, tearing up the brain's information highway.
That's quite an image. So dysfunctional microglia are linked to pretty much everything from minor senior moments right up to serious cognitive decline.
That seems to be the connection, yes.
But what makes them go bad in the first place? Why do they become dysfunctional?
It really boils down to just relentless wear and tear. Think about it. They're constantly fighting off threats, environmental toxins, pollution, food additives, even just chronic stress. Because these things are kind of unavoidable today, the microglia are always on duty. And eventually, they just get fatigued, worn out, and they flip from being protective to being destructive.
So if you're listening and you felt that, struggle with concentration or finding words or just not feeling as sharp, maybe dysfunctional microglia are part of the picture. It puts a name to it almost.
Precisely. But, and this is important, science doesn't just stop at identifying the problem. Researchers have been looking hard for solutions. They've sifted through hundreds of nutrients, and they've zeroed in on specific compounds that seem to directly target and restore these microglia.
Okay, so there's hope. And one of those compounds getting attention from places like Harvard, UCLA, is luteolin, an antioxidant.
That's the one, luteolin. It's showing incredible potential. There was this key study with aged mice. They had dysfunctional microglia, memory problems. They fed one group a luteolin-rich diet. Just 4 weeks later, those mice showed amazing recovery in memory. They navigated mazes easily. They even grew new neurons.
New neurons, seriously?
Yeah, and get this, their sex drive improved too. The scientists literally called it an age reversal. like giving an 80-year-old mouse the brain of a 40-year-old.
That's incredible. An 80-year-old brain acting like a 40-year-old's. And you mentioned something critical. Luteolin can cross the blood-brain barrier. Why is that so important?
Yes, the blood-brain barrier. It's like the brain's very selective bouncer. It keeps most things out.
Right.
Luteolin's ability to just walk right past that bouncer is crucial. It means it can get directly to the microglia in the brain and start that repair work, helping your brain feel, potentially decades younger. And it's not just about restoring the microglia. Luteolin has another vital job, fighting inflammation. Remember those inflammatory chemicals the dysfunctional ones spew out?
Yeah, the arsonist effect.
Exactly. Luteolin helps put out those fires. In lab tests, microglia treated with luteolin produced way less inflammation when hit with toxins. The surrounding brain cells survived better. In another study, with rats this time, give them luteolin plus a toxin, and they aced a water maze almost 3 times faster than rats just getting the toxin. Plus, much less inflammation in their hippocampus.
So it's doing double duty, fixing the microglia and acting like a fire extinguisher for inflammation?
That's powerful. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Another brain-boosting secret, but this time from chess grandmasters like Magnus Carlsen, Garry Kasparov. This sounds really interesting. I mean, the feats these guys perform are just mind-boggling. Carlsen memorizing, what, 10,000 games? Kasparov seeing dozens of moves ahead? How? Well, part of their shared secret, something both of them actually credit, isn't just sitting and thinking. It's vigorous physical exercise.
Really?
Yep. Turns out exercise significantly ramps up the brain's production of something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor,
Eat.
BDNF.
Okay.
Think of BDNF as, like, miracle grow for your brain cells.
Ah, okay. Miracle grow for the brain. I like that.
It's often called the master molecule because it literally builds and maintains the brain's infrastructure, that whole complex web of neurons. And we know now, thanks to Nobel winner Dr. Eric Kandel's work, that adult brains can grow new cells at any age. That discovery just shattered old ideas.
So what does this BDNF miracle grow actually do for us? How does it make thinking sharper or memory better?
Well, it acts like fertilizer,
Yeah.
basically, for new brain cells and for the connections between existing ones. Studies show it clearly. Sprinkle BDNF on neurons in a dish. They just spring to life, sprouting new branches for learning.
Wow.
And in people, volunteers with higher BDNF levels, they remembered way more names from a slideshow test. Higher BDNF is linked to learning new words maybe 20% faster, and it could even cut the risk of cognitive decline by a third.
That's significant. And what about that working memory, holding a phone number in your head or remembering your shotgun list? That seems to be one of the first things to get fuzzy with age.
Absolutely. And BDNF plays a big role there, too. There was a Swedish study that used a test called the trail-making test, measures working memory, sometimes used for driving assessments.
Okay.
Participants with higher BDNF finished that test almost twice as fast, average 110 seconds, versus slower times for lower BDNF folks. Plus, their MRIs showed bigger brain volume, less shrinkage with higher BDNF.
But the catch is BDNF levels naturally go down as we get older, right? Which leads to fewer new cells, maybe some brain shrinkage, memory issues.
That's the typical pattern, yes. It's part of aging, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Inevitable.
So if vigorous exercise isn't always practical for everyone every day, is there another way to get that BDNF boost? Did scientists look into that?
They did. And they found something quite remarkable involving coffee fruit. Not the bean we brew, but the fruit around it.
Coffee fruit. Interesting. What did they find?
It was pretty stunning. They gave volunteers a caffeine-free extract from this coffee fruit. Within just 1 hour, their BDNF levels jumped by an incredible 143%.
143% in an hour.
Yep. This extract, it's patented now as Neurofactor, offers a really quick, easy way to boost BDNF without caffeine jitters. Plus, coffee fruit itself is a powerful antioxidant, packing a punch like loads of berries.
That's a serious boost. Okay, moving on. Another key player, acetylcholine. And we have to mention the amazing Dr. Brenda Milner, still sharp at 103, who discovered its role in memory formation way back.
Acetylcholine, yeah. It's a neurotransmitter, a chemical messenger, absolutely crucial for memory, learning, and especially quick recall. Think of your brain like a giant library. Acetylcholine is like the super efficient librarians, filing everything correctly and instantly finding the book or memory you need.
But the problem is those librarians start retiring maybe. Our acetylcholine levels drop starting as early as our 40s, and by the 60s, it can be a steep decline.
That's often the case, yes. And that drop is a big reason behind those senior moments, that feeling of the file just not being there when you look for it.
So scientists looked for ways to boost it.
Exactly. And they found alpha-GPC. It's a special, really absorbable form of choline. which is the main building block for acetylcholine. Alpha-GPC is great because it's odorless, easy to take. It crosses that blood-brain barrier we talked about.
Ah, crucial again.
Right, and it works fast. Most people feel a difference, like better mental clarity, within about an hour.
And the research backs this up.
Oh, definitely. We're
Oh,
talking over
yeah.
20 clinical trials, more than 4,000 patients, consistently showing improvements in memory, alertness, learning. It even seems to protect against decline. In one study, even people with severe cognitive issues showed improvements in things like verbal fluency, attention, reaction time, all within 90 days.
That's really impressive.
It's so well regarded that in Europe, doctors actually prescribe alpha-GPC routinely for brain health.
And I read there's kind of a bonus benefit too, something about growth hormone.
Ah, yes, the unexpected perk. Alpha-GPC can also give a little boost to human growth hormone production, particularly helpful as we get older. That translates to potentially stronger bones, leaner muscle, more energy, even better heart health. It's a nice side effect.
A boost for body and brain.
Okay.
Let's take a quick trip back in time now. An ancient memory mystery, the rishis of India, reciting incredibly long poems from memory.
Yes, these individuals had phenomenal recall. They could recite epics like the Mahabharata that's like 2 million words purely from memory.
Unbelievable.
And this ability was often linked to an herb they called Brahmi. We now know it as Bacopa monnieri. These ancient tales eventually intrigued modern scientists, including Nobel winner Robert Furchgott.
So he tested this ancient wisdom.
He did. Early studies showed Bacopa made rats more alert, better at learning. But the human studies are really striking. People taking Bacopa learn new things almost twice as fast.
Twice as fast. Wow.
Yeah, improved memory, faster information processing, better recall, especially noticeable in people over 55.
And how does Bacopa work its magic? What's the science there?
Furchgott found it helps relax blood vessels and increases nitric oxide. This basically means better blood flow, delivering more oxygen, more nutrients right to the brain, more fuel for better performance. So we hit these big ones, microglia, BDNF, acetylcholine, Bacopa. But the research points to a whole team of nutrients working together, right?
Yeah,
The supporting cast.
exactly. It seems like a synergistic effect. What else stood out?
Well, there's PS, phosphatidylserine. It's a special fat key for flexible brain cell membranes. A Stanford study famously said it could erase 12 years off brain age by improving memory, focus, reasoning.
12 years younger, mentally.
Okay. And lecithin helps PS absorb better. Plus, it seemed to cut senior moments in half and even improve balance. Then ALC, acetyl L-carnitine. That one's like an energy drink for brain cells, repairing their little powerhouses, the mitochondria. Even helped 100-year-olds with memory and energy.
Amazing. Keep going.
Okay, ginkgo biloba used for ages. Modern studies confirm it helps circulation, memory, protects brain tissue. Standardized extracts are key there, though.
Right, consistency matter.
And blueberries. Great antioxidants, fighting that brain rust. They contain pterostoldipine, which seems to flip genetic switches, turning on memory genes, turning off aging genes.
Switching genes on and off, that's fascinating.
And finally, don't forget basic minerals. Calcium isn't just for bones, it's vital for forming memories. Low levels, linked to memory loss. And phosphorus is often overlooked, but it repairs cell membranes, keeps brain wiring strong, and energizes the brain for quicker thinking.
Wow. What an incredible journey, really. From the brain's tiny defenders, the microglia, to growth factors like BDNF, messengers like acetylcholine, ancient herbs, essential fats, and minerals. It's quite a picture.
It really is. And the core message that emerges from all this science, I think, is pretty powerful. Brain aging. It doesn't have to be this inevitable decline we just accept. These discoveries really point towards proactive things we can do, supporting microglia, growing new brain cells, boosting neurotransmitters, fighting inflammation. It seems possible.
Just imagine that feeling. Having facts and memories right there when you need them. Feeling sharper in conversations, enjoying life without that constant frustration of, those senior moments creeping in. Science seems to be showing us a path towards that.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. Given everything we've learned about how these specific nutrients impact our brain's intricate workings, what new possibilities does this open up for you? For maintaining, maybe even enhancing your own cognitive vitality throughout life, perhaps way beyond what we used to think was possible.
A really powerful question to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into unlocking the secrets of a non-aging brain. We hope you feel more informed and definitely more inspired.